Hello, hello, hola, hola amigos, ¿cómo están? Espero que estén bien. I hope you're doing great. This is my first live for my group Adventures in Lima with Vanessa, and I am going to be doing always videos after my official tours for different platforms. So I'm going to be doing lives for you exclusively for this group. So in that way you can have an extra, let's say, chance to learn more about the places I'm going to be visiting with my many tours I have in Lima for different platforms. So my intention is to give you something extra, something better, and to pamper you and to make you fall in love of Lima. So once again, my name is Vanessa Vasquez. I am your Lima City tour guide, and in this moment we are in Puruchuco, an archaeological site located in the city of Lima. So what I'm visiting now with you, what I'm going to be seeing with you, is the museum where the collection of artifacts that were discovered in the archaeological site were moved to be saved. So we're going to see pre-Hispanic objects now. I just finished a tour in an ancient residence called Puruchuco, which is in that direction, and I did this tour for Hego. So if you're a Hego Voyager, please try to check out the next dates. I'm going to be doing this other tour, but if you want to see more about archaeology, this is a good chance for you, because this is what I don't show in that other tour. Okay, so let's go to see it. Vamos. So the name of the museum I will be visiting with you is Museo Arturo Jimenez Borja, and this is the name of the person who investigated and also recopilated lots of information data about this site, and also he was the man who created this museum. So you can see also a bit more about this site description over here, and also the importance of this museum, because it is one of its kind, and also it is basically one of the oldest museums of its type in next to an archaeological site here in South America. So let's continue. We are going now to get inside the museum, and we are informed here about the regulations in terms of the social distancing, for example, between the people that are coming to see the exhibition, 1.5 meters away distance between each one. So let me also clean my hands first. Okay, so let's go in, and we are going to start showing you the panels, and we have some information also displayed around. I'm going to be choosing just some of the images and some of the objects here displayed. This is the Valley of Lima. This is where the city of Lima is located, and we are in the central coast of Peru. Notice also our location. Puruchuco is here in this location where number 10 is. And this is an image of the site, the archaeological place that we just visited in my Hego tour just some minutes ago. So there are several archaeological sites of this kind in Lima from the period of the Ishma Inca cultures. And there used to be many more, but unfortunately most of them are gone. So the site Puruchuco, look at here this chart. So Puruchuco is one of the constructions that was used during the Inca times, but was not built by the Incas, was built by the Ishma society. So where are the Incas in the chart of the history of Peru? This is the Horizonte Tardío, or the late horizon. This is the final stage of the pre-Hispanic development until, well, the coming of the Spaniards started, and this is above this section, right, the conquest time. So below that time we have the Inca Empire. But before the Incas, there were several societies. Even some of these societies coexisted with the Incas. One of those is the Ishma, for example. And the Ishma's starting time is around the 12th century, the 1100. And later the Incas conquered this territory around the 1400s, basically, the 15th century. And this is the moment of the clash of both cultures here in Lima City. And you can see here some images of the archaeological site and the before and after of these sites. So, for example, this is the way how part of the construction used to look like, the site called PURUCHUCO. Look at the way how the archaeologists found this site, and this is the way how nowadays it looks. There's lots of reconstruction also. And here you can see another important section in the house in PURUCHUCO residence, these triangular niches, and how nowadays you can see them. There are sections that were not existent, that were recreated completely, and nowadays archaeologists don't do this anymore because, well, archaeologists don't want to create something that it was, but they are not sure it was not there. But in the time of the 50s, when this place was investigated and reconstructed, it was perfectly okay to do that. And this is an aerial picture of how the site looked like originally before the restoration process. So there were some walls standing, not all of them, of course. The passing of the time, the earthquakes damaged a lot of the site, and this is the way how this site looks like nowadays. So, well, we have here the before and after of some of the most important parts of the house. This is also a picture of how we see it nowadays, and we can notice here in this recreation, in this miniature, let's say, of the site, some parts of the residence. We have, for example, the cemetery zone, possibly a cemetery for the elite, for the most important members of this community. We have over here the farm yard where the llamas were located. And this is what is called the Palacio in Spanish, where we have different rooms, different chambers that were used by the leader of this community. So some minutes ago, I finished a tour in this place, in this residence, and I was able to walk through different rooms. So I will show you here exactly where we went with this other tour. So first of all, we came through here, through this ramp. We got inside the main, let's say, area, a social area, in which we think, archaeologists think, that the visitors that were coming to see the leader of this community met him and offered him products, offer him their respects. Remember that back then there was no currency. So there was no use of currency. So instead of that, they offer their tributes with, like products. And here in this upper part is where we can see also represented the leader of this community. We have also different rooms around. We were able to give a look to this one here briefly. Unfortunately, the internet sometimes drops, especially in the narrow corridors. But you can see that as we keep moving, the corridors tend to be narrower and narrower. So then we came through this section where you can see steps. The Incas used to use steps. The Ishmas used to use ramps. So we were able to walk through this section and even get into the possibly most important chamber of all, let's say ritual zone, or the chamber of the Inca governor, because the entrance into this terrace over here has this double frame that only Incas used in the most holy resins, in the most holy rooms. After this, we were able to walk into a corridor that is seen by the archaeologists as the division between the open, let's say, social part or even ritualistic part of the house, and a more private, more domestic zone, in which we can see also that were performed possibly private ceremonies for the members of the, let's say, the owner of this house, the one who lived in this house. And there were sections. Here, for example, we have lots of internet problems in this section because it's very close, right? So we have here a storage part where archaeologists discover corn. This product was stored here. And this is sort of like a refrigerator section. And in this colpa is where they used to dry products, left the jerky of llama or other goods that they left here to maintain and to be used later. So basically this is how this house is divided. So we will continue now walking along this section, and I hope you are enjoying this transmission that I'm doing for my friends here in this group. And I'm going to be doing constantly this also for you after my tours that I have for different platforms that I do. I'm going to be reserving a little time for you. So here you can see some potteries from the Ishma period. These are vasijas ceremoniales, ceremonial vessels. And the style you can see here is what we call the Ishma style. These handles that you can see in the upper part, this is typical Ishma. The Incas had a different style. The Incas used lots of colors, were more pictorial. Ishmas were more of making shapes, like you can see here, three-dimensional images. This is the face of a person, as you can see. Could be also a deity, but we are not very sure. It looks very, very human-like. And we have also in this other part a group of items that were also discovered together. Look at this shell. These two shells are the spondylus, and the spondylus shell don't grow here in Peru. They grow in warm waters. They grow in Ecuador, in Colombia. So that means that someone had to bring this to the coast, to this territory, to Lima. And possibly this happened here in this location in which traders were able to change products, exchange products, possibly quinoa from the Andes for the shells, these mussels from the north coast. So these rooms, these spaces, these homes in which the leaders were controlling the trade of products were important for the community. We can see also more mortars, and here some products such as corn. We have also lima beans. You can see also different seeds. You can see this is peanuts also, beans, and several other products that these people used to consume. These were edibles. And this is a very special piece we have here because it is the one that gave the name to this site, Puruchuco. So what is Puruchuco? Puruchuco is a headdress in the local language. So this headdress was discovered in this place and is beautiful. It is made of feathers from birds that are not native. They are from the jungle, or like macaws, for example. So that's why this headdress was so surprising for archaeologists. And you can see also the decoration in the back part. This interlocking technique that you can see, like repeated patterns constantly above and below. So the interlocking technique is in the decoration is something the Ishmas used a lot in the old times. So the headdress is called PURUCHUCO, and that's why the site is called like that. So possibly the leader of this location used this beautiful headdress at the time he was receiving the people here. And as you know, there was a section in this site dedicated to the dead. There were burials here, and for example, you can see that not just people were buried, also deities were buried. Also, little figurines were buried, and sometimes with children. Sometimes the children that were, died before birth, they were offered as presents to the deity. So this is what happened actually in this case. We have a bundle, we have a deity here with male sex, as you can see in this section, and in the bottom part, the body of an unborn or newborn child, also a baby, a neonato, a little baby that possibly died before being given birth. So here we have little bones from this baby. So something so sad, an episode so sad in the life of someone also was turned into a opportunity to say thank to the gods, or to ask for the gods for better times to come. And this is the bundle that was discovered in this site, and also the one that once opened help us to show you this scene that you can see. So yeah, well, after seeing this open bundle, let's go to this other section over here, in which we have a quipu. And what is a quipu? A quipu was the noted system, an administrative system, a way to record information back in the Incan times about amounts, quantities, numbers of animals, numbers of crops. So sort of like an abacus, right? But even more, let's say, intricate, more sophisticated. So this system used cords and knots, and the knots, according to the number of knots in each group, that could symbolize quantities, exact quantities, right? So this is why the Incas and also pre-Inca societies use quipus as a way to record information and to send information to the Inca, for example, accurate information, precise information about the, for example, census, or so far we know, even more elaborated ideas. But unfortunately, we cannot read these quipus anymore. We are not able to understand the quipus as the Incas and pre-Incas used to understand them. So we have even in colonial images, in colonial drawings, the remembrance of men, Incan men, about how the quipus were used, because the quipus were used also until the colonial times, but were forbidden and eventually were forgotten. So that's why we no longer understand them. The Spaniards were not interested in understanding the quipus, or either the Incas were not interested in teaching them how to read them. But you can see the threads, the cords, the knots here in the hands of these people. These are colonial paintings. So, well, this is a little bit of what we have here in this museum, and let me show you also here this patio. So thank you so much for joining and watching this video. If you were not able to see it live, remember that I'm going to be doing this constantly for you, for my friends from this group, Adventures in Lima with Vanessa. And well, hopefully you will be able also to join my tours happening in different platforms too. So take care, all the best to you, and thanks for your support. Lots of love from Lima. Bye bye.